Greetings, Uncle Travelling Matt here, and it's the second day of my Petra explorations. I don't think I'm going to be doing quite as much vlogging today because I saw most of it yesterday. So my aim today is to kind of tidy up the bits that I didn't do before, which is not many. The main one being the place of high sacrifice, which apparently is a bit of a nasty trail to get to it. So that'll be my exercise for the day. And I had enough of that yesterday. I did almost 30,000 steps and was severely knackered when I got to the end of it. But it is, I mean, it's an amazing place. It's one of those gifts that keeps on giving, and there's so much to see here. I'm walking down the sea again. You've seen that before. Not a lot new to point out there, except have a look here. This is actually some of the original paving. It was paved throughout at the time. So yeah, I want to look at that. I want to look at a few of the other tombs that I didn't get to. There's one, I don't know the name of it. It's a royal tomb that looks like the treasury, but a hell of a lot more eroded. So that'll probably be worth a look as well. But yeah, I tend to take it a bit easier, apart from the high sacrifice trail, and then get back, and then tomorrow crack on to Karak. So here we are, back in Petra.
Bed one live.
So here we are at the top. I made it to the high point of sacrifice. It's probably the biggest climb in Petra, and I'm up here, although I have to admit I cheated. Yes, I took a donkey, and I took this donkey because I took one look at the steps and thought, no way, that's not happening. And so I took a donkey. I felt very sorry for the donkey because I think I must be big boned. I seem to be quite heavy when I get on the scales. And I've been on a donkey since I was 8, and it was a bit of an experience because it was petrifying, if we're honest. It was the way was so steep and narrow. I would have struggled to get up it myself. But that was bad. But the real bad bit was when you go down. I just feel like I'm going to keel over the top of the donkey. So yes, I did take the donkey. I was lazy. I apologise. Sorry to the donkey as well. But I got up here, and I maybe would have struggled because the last 3 minutes I did on my own, and it was really hard. And I'm rewarded with these amazing views. And so this valley here is the main valley of Petra, and there you can see, if I zoom in on, that there is the temple to Dashara. And I don't know what all this stuff is here. Something looks really interesting. Particularly that thing there. That looks really interesting. So there's lots of stuff to see that I've not seen before. And this, of course, was the main part of the city, as was the bit behind that outcrop there. And yeah, just a quick. So that bit there, that's the Sikh where the treasury is, and there is Wadi Musa where I've come from this morning. And there's the high point of sacrifice, which I'll talk about in a second. And one thing, looking at it from on high like this, and also from my wanderings around yesterday, I think the problem with these ancient cities is that, you know, after the ravages of time, what survives are basically the religious buildings and tombs and palaces. I haven't seen any palaces here, by the way. Interesting that. But yeah, and I guess that's because they were built to last, and yet they give us a warped impression. So if I think of my own city, what would survive? There would be like the town halls and churches, and so visitors, you know, in 2,000 years' time would climb over mounds of rubble like this, and they'd be like, you know, the Church of the Sacred Heart, 1 kilometre this way, you know, Burzon Town Hall, 600 metres that way, and they get this impression that we were just obsessed with civic politics and religion, which would be really quite erroneous. So yeah, they give us a bit of a skewed impression. It'd be great if somebody could do like this digital model of the whole of Petra, but with all the normal stuff in as well, so we could get us a more balanced impression. Anyway, that's for the future. Look at this view. Absolutely unbelievable. This is the high point of sacrifice. So this is the high point of sacrifice. It's really ancient, and one of the things that the ancient Nabateans did was they would sacrifice to the gods in high places, open places. I guess they're closer to the gods in places like this. And this one dates back to the Iron Age. It was Adamite, and it does make you think of some of those things like in the Bible where they would climb on top of a mountain and offer sacrifices. There it is. And here on the other side of the high point of sacrifice, there's some kind of, either it's to do with the same thing or it's a purification tank, or maybe it's just a well. And then there's obviously some building on there at one time. This is a tower, so maybe it's a bit of a castle. And then you've got these two obelisks here. Quite cool, and there's a load of tombs and stuff put into the rocks there. I'm climbing down now from the high place of sacrifice, and what is great about Petra is that even though it's so touristy, there's just so many spots where you can be alone and relax. So I've been sitting here, don't quite know what that is, looks like a bit of a tomb. I've been sitting here for about 10-15 minutes reading a book, relaxing. It's absolutely gorgeous. You're in fantastic scenery, and it's just so nice. And I guess, apart from the whole like Baka Mecca Petra thing, the reason I came here is just because people do, and it's like going to Paris and not going to the Eiffel Tower. You wouldn't do that. But you know what? It's really exceeded my expectations. I can't recommend Petra enough. So there we are. Let's get going again. So this is the inside of that little tomb that I filmed from higher up, and I wonder if it'd be painted. It isn't, but it doesn't need to be. Look at the amazing colours of the rocks. Unbelievable. It's better than any painting. Okay, I'm inside a bigger tomb now. Pretty amazing. A lot of black here. I'm guessing there must have been fires that's made the roof black like that. All these niches, and a very dark room through there. Don't know if we'll see anything. No. Doesn't seem to be so much in there. So this is the inside of one of the tombs. There's quite a few tombs here. Again, we're on the edge of the city. It's one of those burial districts. There's another one across there that apparently is worth looking into. And here's the outside, much eroded, but very Roman in style, of the one that I've just been in. And here's the interior of the one across the way, which has all these quite cool columns. Yeah. So I've now finished my trek from the high place of sacrifice. That girl Abby over there, I was having a chat with her, very interesting, studying migration at Brighton. This is the great temple that I went to yesterday, and all this rubble was the city. So where I am now would have been, you know, the streets of the city. There's the Dussehra temple. I'm going to go down there because there's a restaurant and I'm starving. So I'm now at the back of the Qasr al-Bint, or the Dussehra temple, which Gibson says is his main contender for the location of the sacred enclosure, Masjid al-Haram. And it is interesting because I said there was no, one of the things against it was that there would be no equivalent of the Kaaba for people to walk around. But there is that, which is apparently the main altar, though whether it is ever a Kaaba, it just looks more like an altar stage. I'm going to ask him about that, but here we are. This is the temple itself. I think it's about the only freestanding structure left in Petra because of all the earthquakes. And from what I've read, apparently this stayed up while they fell down because they put wood in between the bricks when they were building it. And that gave it a degree of flexibility that the other buildings in the city obviously didn't have. And just as I mentioned it, you can see bits of wood here and there. So there's one there and there's one there. I suspect they are newer bits, but yeah, those look a bit older. But yeah, quite interesting. Anyway, here we are, the back of the Dussehra temple, which is interestingly square. The sacred enclosure.